China might be quietly making a move into Bitcoin. While everybody was distracted with Crypto Week in Washington all throughout July, I think China has made some really interesting moves here. We saw this fake news circulate on August 4th saying that China had banned Bitcoin again, and literally 2 days after that fake news about China banning Bitcoin, China allowed its first crypto stable coin. And in the same week, we've seen Hong Kong give birth to a new Bitcoin giant. There is this company called Avenir Group that right now holds $691 million of Bitcoin, and it's one of iBit's largest holders around the world. So today I want to kind of just check in on China and ask the question, is China quietly making a move into Bitcoin? Why did we see all of these fake news reports of China banning Bitcoin again on August 4th? But then 2 days later, they launched their first crypto stable coin. Just another one of those coincidentally timed events, don't you think? This is really strange, I will say that. But let's actually break down what is going on, because again, in the same week, what else happened? Again, August 8th, 4 days after that fake news headline circulated all over Twitter, $50 billion block launched American-made Bitcoin mining chips. Again, think about this. 90% of the Bitcoin mining ASICs chips is manufactured in China. And now Block is trying to create a solution for this. When did they announce this? In the same week that China launched its first stable coin. Again, I don't believe in coincidences. Let's just say that, but let's break down what actually happened before you see me dive off the deep end and maybe even pop the tinfoil hat on. Let's have a look at what happened. So where did these fake rumors come from when it came to China? Well, we can see here, here's the quote. "A lie will go around the world while truth is pulling its boots on. And early Sunday morning, Beijing time, that very thing happened. Wild rumors, apparently starting on Telegram, began to surface that China had implemented yet another crypto ban." So again, I'm always suspicious where we don't know where the source of the fake rumors came from. Who put this on the internet? For what reason? Who knows? But you can see all your popular big Twitter accounts, they were all posting about it. We can see here, breaking, China just announced they're officially banning cryptocurrency trading and mining. Same thing here from another one of these news influencers. China has officially banned cryptocurrency trading. But where's the source? Where is the hot source? None of them have it. They all got community noted, which again just makes you ask the question, where did it come from? Who started these fake rumors on Telegram? Why did they start them? I don't know, but I find it strange that this happened at the exact same time that one of Hong Kong's largest companies, well, actually, let's rephrase that, Asia's largest Bitcoin holder, quietly announced that they continue to plow more and more money into Bitcoin. And we can see right now they're sitting on $691 billion of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. They are accumulating Bitcoin. They're not slowing down. I find it absolutely fascinating that we now have Chinese companies openly going out there and buying a ton of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Is there something to say here about why Hong Kong is buying BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF? Let's not forget, Hong Kong has its very own spot ETF itself. Why are they buying BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF? That's just, one of those questions that really makes you scratch your head, so to say. Again, there's a lot to cover here about America, China, There's a lot of game theory here. A lot of people connect Larry Fink to Europe. So again, why is a Hong Kong firm buying so much of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF? I don't know, but before I dive into that rabbit hole, I will tell you that please do not buy an ETF or do not trust an exchange with your Bitcoin. I always encourage you guys to put your Bitcoin into your own self-custody, like a hardware wallet. This is what I've got my hands on right now. These are the brand new touchscreens from Ledger. Again, I highly recommend you check out all the hardware wallets. But if you want a touchscreen hardware wallet, you can get $10 of free Bitcoin if you buy one using the link down below. I think they're a great option. Again, there's lots of strokes for different folks. If you want to get a Trezor, you want to get a Bitcoin only, completely open source Bitcoin hardware wallet, you can also get a discount if you use the link down below. Again, I've used pretty much all of the different hardware wallets in the space. There's a ton of great options. They're all great. I've literally used them all. I've got cold cards here. Might even have a couple of bit boxes lying around here. Again, do not trust ETF issuers. We definitely do not want to trust them or any exchange because they will one day pull the rug, which kind of gets me back talking a little bit more about Jeff Bezos and Amazon. Because what I find really interesting is that, hey, we have billions of dollars worth of Amazon stock relatively unaccounted for. And again, this is kind of like, there's a reason why I wanted to talk about Bezos with China today. It's hard to get the truth about where all of that money is going from Jeff Bezos and what is actually happening in China. What is happening? Oh, nobody knows. It's really difficult to get an answer. Again, a lot of this is just speculation at this point. But I do think it's absolutely fascinating that Hong Kong is seeing a few more buyers pop up. We can see Hong Kong's Trivest Advisors also came out this week and revealed a 90.4 million position in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. This likely places them among IBIT's top 10 holders globally. So are you guys starting to see what I'm finding coincidental here? BlackRock is a US institution or a Western institution, let's say that. And two of the largest holders are from Hong Kong. I mean, there's a lot of big economies in Asia. China, India, North Korea, South Korea, and Hong Kong. They have two companies that's in BlackRock's top 10 biggest holders. Do you guys not find that just a little bit coincidental? We do know that Hong Kong is China's testing ground. Whatever China wants to try out on the mainland, they try it out on Hong Kong first. Again, two countries, one rule. This is what China thinks. China thinks of Hong Kong as part of its own. I just find it really coincidental that we are starting to see all of these really interesting developments come out of Hong Kong. Again, the timing of all of this is, again, I just think it's fascinating. Firstly, the Bezos news is kind of insane that we're seeing Jeff Bezos openly accept Bitcoin for payment with Blue Origin and people aren't talking about it. I actually can't believe it, to be quite honest. There's so many, again, news headlines that come out that, again, I just think a lot of people just don't give it the attention that it needs because I just think it's just another bullish headline. Okay? What's interesting about this Blue Origin company that is now accepting Bitcoin for payment, look at this. Justin Sun, the billionaire founder of crypto firm Tron, recently made a space flight aboard the Blue Origin. Recently, there was speculation around CZ, the billionaire founder of the Binance crypto exchange, making the same flight. However, CZ said he will attempt a space flight only after Tesla owner Elon Musk flies to space. So what's going on here? Why do we have all these billionaires who are interested in Bitcoin talking about taking rockets to space? Again, I don't want to open up the really interesting rabbit hole of Bitcoin being an intergalactic necessity, because again, I do not think we can become an intergalactic species without the discovery of energy money. Could be a topic for another day, or maybe a 50,000 word book that I'm halfway through right now. But what I do think is interesting is I think it's now becoming undeniable that the billionaires are racing for Bitcoin. And we always talk about this. I was called an idiot for a few years there for saying what Michael Saylor did in 2020 has started the mother of all supply shocks. I made the case in 2020. I said, look, him doing this, competitive FOMO is going to take hold, and eventually you're going to have the billionaires racing to buy more Bitcoin than Michael Saylor, because the billionaires on the world's richest person leaderboard, again, a lot of them don't care about the numbers, but a lot of them do. And for a lot of them, it is a measuring contest of who is wealthier and who is more powerful. And as Michael Saylor ascends this list of the world's richest people, the other billionaires and public companies will be forced to respond. And the only way to respond to somebody and their company who is getting richer than yours because of the Bitcoin they hold is to buy more Bitcoin than your competitor. I laid this out in a 2021 article and in multiple videos, got called a nutcase, but it's happening. It is literally happening right now. And there is only, as we can see, 2.5 million Bitcoin on the exchanges right now for sale. And I hate to say it, but Michael is squatting on 628,000 Bitcoin at strategy. He's sitting on tens of thousands personally. And I think the time has passed. I do not think any other public company can buy more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy. Again, we've talked about this list of the most valuable companies previously. And there is only one company that has more money than MicroStrategy that has a founder with the majority voting rights of the company. So again, if a company like Amazon wanted to put $157 billion into Bitcoin tomorrow, it would be nearly impossible because they have so many shareholders. The founder does not have the majority vote like Michael does. The only company with more money than Michael on the balance sheet and has a founder with majority voting rights, it's Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. And they're sitting on $95 billion of capital today. And I showed you the chart. Michael is catching him pretty quickly. Strategy has $74.78 billion of capital and quickly closing the gap on not only the company, Meta, but also some of the largest assets around the world. I think this could be the cycle that Bitcoin actually takes the number 2 spot when we start looking at the biggest assets around the world. Because look what happened this week. Do you really think Amazon didn't pay attention to Bitcoin surpassing it? Again, this announcement literally happened on the same day that Bitcoin surpassed Amazon with a $2.362 trillion market cap. Do you think maybe it was a coincidence, or do you think Amazon kind of tipped its hat to Bitcoin and said, yeah, you know what, you are the king. We'll accept Bitcoin for payments at one of our companies. I don't know, but I do think that's a beautiful coincidence. I do think that's incredibly interesting. And All Night Hider in the chat says they want to intercept the asteroid made of Bitcoin. I'm sure he's taking a shot at gold on this list. The reason why gold is going to be dethroned from this number 1 spot on the world's biggest assets is because there are asteroids full of gold out there. And it is just a matter of time before we start sending spaceships into outer space and we do start mining that gold out of the asteroids. Oh, I think we're seeing billionaire FOMO and it's got me out of breath. I think it's insane. I think right now what we're starting to see in the market is maybe a little bit of recognition that the big boys are coming into Bitcoin, because the last time I checked in on the price of Bitcoin, it is on the screen behind me, but last time I checked in on it, we touched $122,000 this morning. And I'm not going to lie, Bitcoin looks pretty primed to rip higher here. Are we really back at 118? Price is so volatile in the short term. Again, this is why I tell you guys, never trade your Bitcoin. I can guarantee you there's so many leverage traders wiped out here. They were wiped out again here on the dump. Maybe they were wiped out here recently as Bitcoin hit 122,000 last night, but it's back at 118,000. Again, I always encourage you guys, just zoom out, get your Bitcoin Zen on. Every price fluctuation between here and a million, it's noise. I think when you understand where Bitcoin is going long term, it should all be noise. Again, for this bull run, do not sell your Bitcoin, borrow against your Bitcoin, investigate how this might enable you to not pay taxes, not financial advice. Again, the place that I'm using to borrow against my Bitcoin this bull run is Firefish. I love them because they're fully backed. They don't take custody of your Bitcoin. And guess what? They are open sourcing their code base. They've got 2-year loans. That's why I've got a couple of loans with Firefish. I think they're the best product in the space to borrow against your Bitcoin. And they're even going to give you 30% off the fees on your first loan if you use a promo code Luke. Okay, that's a serious discount. 30% off. Check out Firefish. I think they're a great tool for this Bitcoin bull run. And again, please don't even think about borrowing against your Bitcoin until you've got your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet. Like I mentioned earlier, get your hands on some Ledgers or some Trezors or any hardware wallet you want, because we shouldn't be trusting Larry Fink or any bureaucrat or even any public company CEO. At the end of the day, they're all going to have to bend the knee to Bitcoin. And that is what I investigated in 2 recent videos. I'm going to put links to those ones somewhere around there. And what I said, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. I'll see you on the next one.